that is the underlying theme of the whole project, is that, you know, small island, big song. It's not small islands, it's one, you know, and that small island is this island we all share, which is this precious blue planet, Earth.
Watch on to find out more.
Greetings, joyful viewers. I am Noelani from Hawaii, USA. The soulful people of Hawaii send you smiles of beaming friendship. Welcome to the Indian and Pacific Ocean's Indigenous Peoples, Small Island, Big Song, Part 1 of 2. Today is the International Day of the World's Indigenous Peoples, and to mark the occasion, we are excited to share with you an introduction to an extraordinary album celebrating unity, music, and traditional culture. Two remarkable individuals, Bao Chan, a producer and project manager from Taiwan or Formosa, and Tim Cole, an Australian filmmaker and music producer with extensive experience, are responsible for this unique creation. In 2015, Mr. Cole was awarded the prestigious Churchill Fellowship by the Winston Churchill Memorial Trust of Australia to conduct research abroad on how Austronesian culture informs Indigenous music. Over 3 years, the couple visited many Indian and Pacific Ocean island villages and met with local artists to document and record their respective musical traditions. The result was a collaborative album titled Small Island, Big Song that unites Indigenous island musicians who share an ancient seafaring ancestry across the two oceans, as well as seeks to raise global awareness that climate change and rising sea levels are a massive threat to the vulnerable islanders' future. The album was composed and recorded in nature on the artist's custodial land, with all songs featuring only traditional instruments and lyrics in indigenous languages. Over 100 musicians from 16 island nations are showcased. Audiences around our world have shown admiration and support for the work, which recently became the winner of the Songlines Music Awards UK's Best Asia Pacific Album 2019. The soulful Small Island Big Song project has its humble beginnings in Australia's outback.
所以在2014年年底的时候，Ting 和我们一起在澳洲的沙漠录音，然后和原住民的音乐家一起拍摄。然后有一天Ting 他在澳洲的原住民部落刚结束一个录音，然后 在沙漠里面，他看着星星，然后听着附近草丛的声音，然后同时听着广播。广播里面正在讲气候变迁对太平洋岛国的影响，然后有很多岛国的人现在因此变成气候难民，然后需要离开自己的家乡。然后他那时候就觉得我们录音还有拍摄的这样的能力，我们应该要到这些岛国去记录下来这些长久千年以来流传下来的音乐，然后还有语言，还有当地的乐器，然后把这些文化保存下来。因为很多太平洋的文化是没有文字，所有的故事还有知识都是靠歌曲一代传着一代下来，所以我们才有了想要做小岛大歌这个计划的一开始的雏形想法。
Often separated by enormous distances, one may think these Pacific and Indian Ocean Islander communities share little in common. Tim and Bobo discovered these islanders are linked by common ancestry, and this astonishing fact was another inspiration for the project's launch.
在2013年的时候，我们一起到了万纳度的一个小岛上面，一个村庄，然后做了一个纪录片，还有音乐专辑。那时候一位长老，他看到我们，然后就问我说：“你是哪里人？”然后我就说：“我是台湾。”他就说：“哦，我听过台湾，我知道我们祖先是从台湾来的。”然后那时候我们两个都很吃惊，就想说：“你真的知道台湾在哪里吗？”因为台湾其实离万纳度非常远。然后他就说：“其实不只是万纳度，还有很多不同太平洋的岛国和台湾的原住民都有很深的文化上面的关联。”所以我们就开始去找这些资料，然后去做更深的研究。后来就发现，原来在5000年前，台湾的原住民就发明了可以航海的独木舟。那他们不断的往南移动，随着洋流，然后还有关心，慢慢移动到菲律宾、印尼、马来西亚，然后甚至跨越太平洋到所有太平洋的岛国，还有跨越印度洋，最后到达马达加斯加。所以我们一开始会想要做小岛大歌，也有很大的一个部分是希望用这样子的方式去把大家重新串联在一起。
The duo met many local artists throughout the recording process. The region Tim and Bobo covered was wide, from Easter Island to Madagascar.
We made this decision to work with these people who represent the best term is like the First Nation people, those from communities who have lived with that one environment and location for the longest, because they do represent this cultural voice for that place, for the resonance, you know, the uniqueness of that island and also reef, because these are ocean, as they say in Indigenous Australia, saltwater, these are saltwater people. Mostly, there are some inland cultures. Their cultural voice is uniquely like, you know, resonant to that location.
We will now pause and be back soon after a brief message. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television.
That is the underlying theme of the whole project, is that, you know, small island, big song. It's not small islands, it's one, you know, and that small island is this island we all share, which is this precious blue planet, Earth.
Welcome back, splendid viewers, to the Indian and Pacific Ocean's Indigenous Peoples Small Island Big Song, Part 1 of 2 on Supreme Master Television. The Small Island Big Song artists enjoy bonding when performing together and discovered that they have more in common than they realized.
那去年因为有一次音乐节的关系，我们终于可以找不同的音乐家聚在一起，然后做一场演出。那在彩排的时候，他们就开始聊天，然后我还记得他们开始数数，从1数到10，然后每个人都数完之后，他们脸上的那个表情是非常非常吃惊，因为他们发现有很多的数字是一模一样的，然后还有他们讲很多单字，像眼睛、耳朵，还有手这些单字。
Lima
for five， mata for eyes。然后还有这里、那里，或是哭，很多单字在这些岛国上面都是一模一样的。
Connecting the island people through the project has created strength and unity at a crucial time, especially considering that many of the communities are now facing dire climate change challenges that are directly jeopardizing their way of life.
So really, we've reached this threshold where our lifestyle as humans here on this earth is affecting the whole planet. We're living on an island. We need to start living like we are living on an island. And these artists know how to live on islands. They've sustained their communities, and if their crops don't make it, well then that's it. Their community is going to be threatened. And that's what hit me when I was out in the desert and I heard those report about the predictions of climate change. If we breach that 2 degrees limit, is these islands, these very places where people do know how to live sustainably on a small island, are going to be the first to lose their homelands, their islands, and not just that, like the knowledge that's embedded in those places and sung and lived through the culture of the people living on those places. And that could just be the very culture which we need right now to bind us back together as humanity, you know, as custodians, as caretakers for this small island of ours.
indigenous people have long been regarded as custodians of the land wherever they reside. Their wisdom is vast, with a deep reverence for Mother Earth and her magnificent blue oceans.
It seems to me that the short tag that is coming out is we share one ocean. And from one of those islands, they gave us the quote that it said within our people that the oceans don't divide us, the oceans unite us. We share the one ocean.
Welcome to the Indian and Pacific Ocean's Indigenous Peoples Small Island Big Song, Part 2 of 2. Two remarkable individuals, Bao Chan, a producer and project manager from Taiwan or Formosa, and Tim Ko, an Australian filmmaker and music producer with extensive experience, are responsible for a unique creation. Over 3 years, the couple visited many Indian and Pacific Ocean island villages and met with local artists to document and record their respective musical traditions. The result was a collaborative album titled Small Island Big Song that unites indigenous island musicians who share an ancient seafaring ancestry across the two oceans, as well as seeks to raise global awareness that climate change and rising sea levels are a massive threat to the vulnerable islanders' future. The album was composed and recorded in nature on the artist's custodial land, with all songs featuring only traditional instruments and lyrics in indigenous languages. Over 100 musicians from 16 island nations are showcased. Audiences around our world have shown admiration and support for the work, which recently became the winner of the Songlines Music Awards UK's Best Asia Pacific Album 2019. As Mr. Ko and Ms. Chan have previously shared, The project was conceived in part due to a very conscious concern about climate change and how it affects the indigenous communities of the Pacific Islands in particular. By utilizing their strengths, the couple managed to achieve an inspiring feat.
然后这也是为什么我们一开始觉得，我们虽然不是政治家，我们也不是科学家，但是我们对气候变迁这个议题很重视，然后我们可以做我们可以做的。Tim 是音乐制作人，然后影像导演，我可以 manage the project。所以我们如果可以结合在一起，然后做我们可以做的。
Indeed, we are so fortunate that Ms. Chan and Mr. Ko followed their hearts and created Small Island Big Song, all the while bringing attention to the very alarming effects of global warming that were apparent during their journeys.
In some places, yeah, we were in the midst of it. When we were in
PNG.
Yeah, in Papua New Guinea and Bougainville, there were some NGO groups there working with the outlying islands, negotiating land for them to come and move to the mainland or Bougainville, which itself was being threatened.
One of the musicians we work with, Charles Momorosier from Solomon Islands, he said everyone in his village now has a canoe because sometimes you just have to ride canoes to visit your neighbors.
Yeah.
And he never sing like this.
Yeah, some of the king tides, the big tides, are up that much that they have to canoe to go to another house, but they're sort of taking it in their stride. They're shifting their gardens further inland, but it is real. It's real, and this is the pressing thing that we're doing this project, and that's why we've absolutely sought to work with the strongest people we can, and I really believe that's why they've stood up to it too. Is that we do have this sense that nature is moving on regardless of what we may think or what sort of political games we may play. Nature doesn't care. We're not even aware of any of that. It's moving, it's taking its course, and we absolutely need to sort of step up to it. That's also why we've fast-tracked this.
We will now pause for a positive message and be back soon. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television. Welcome back to the Indian and Pacific Ocean's Indigenous Peoples Small Island Big Song, Part 2 of 2 on Supreme Master Television. It is heartwarming to know that Tim Ko and Bao Chen are conveying to the masses the enormous importance of saving indigenous arts and cultural traditions and the need to immediately address climate change through the universal language of music.
And we're going from first gear to overdrive. You know, our first tour is on major stages in Europe. We played a big crowd to 15,000, and that's because the promoters get it. You need to play on a big stage, and we're to show the other big festivals like WOMAD and that you're capable of doing it, so you can get onto those next year, because we want to reach as many hearts as we can with this story, you know, as quickly as we can. There is no time to waste.
The World Tour 2018 was very impressive with the 39 Small Island Big Song concerts, garnering over 100,000 attendees. The musician and dance troupe from 8 island nations covered 20 cities in 12 countries on 4 continents.
When we looked out of that stage, and like they were all such strong, proud musicians who are absolutely like respected cultural voices, and it was so humbling for us to be amongst those people and for them to be standing up on stage and the presence that they bring, because it's not just them, they're all representing like this lineage, and they're aware of that too when they're standing there. The respect they have for each other.
We have learned about the care, mindfulness, and passion that were involved in creating the Small Island Big Song album. How have audiences reacted to this noble music project?
今年因为专辑的发布，我们开始了一趟世界巡回的旅程。然后我们从澳洲，然后到美国，还有印尼、欧洲的很多国家，然后最后回到台湾，然后和很多音乐家9到13位音乐家一起到这些地方去演出。然后我们常会看到观众们就是很开心，就是笑脸在脸上，但是充满着泪水。然后或是说，有些人就真的太喜欢小岛大哥的计划，然后要飞到另外一个城市再来看我们第2场演出。然后或是说和我们一起合作的 venue， 他们说哇，这是他们看过最有意义、最棒的表演。我觉得很多观众他们可以很简单的由欣赏我们的演出，然后就得到我们的想要说的讯息。
It is clear the artists have greatly inspired those who have had the opportunity to hear these fantastic traditional songs. What does the future hold for the Small Island Big Song project?
We're working on a feature film too that we want to get in the cinemas. We really want to touch as many hearts as we can, as quickly as we can. With the story of the oceans, we have the people who speak for the seas, like the lorax who speaks for the trees. These are the people who speak for the seas, and they love their homelands, and they're celebrating it. And the other thing is, this project is not about pointing fingers about what's wrong. This project is dedicated to all of us who believe in our role as carers for our planet. This is a soundtrack for all of you, and it's a gift from all of those musicians. Thank you. Thank you for believing that, and thank you for living that truth. That's the passion behind this music. It's uplifting. It's for you.
The Small Island Big Song CD and digital download are available at smallislandbigsong.com/market. Elated viewers, it has been a pleasure to have your company on today's program. Coming up next is Living Sustainably Off the Grid, right after noteworthy news, here on Supreme Master Television. May we always appreciate and safeguard the natural beauty that surrounds us.